So this next, following up in this next session with a short story, factual story called Featherbed Alley. This was a house that was rented to provide me with easy access to the central of Nevis, Eastern Caribbean, where I had been focused for a while, and I can recall the negotiations with the landlady. I don't know whether or not she's still alive, but Mrs. Canning, the landlady, was in fact the widow of Anglican ministers who had passed away, and it was, you know, it seems logical for me to call this Featherbed Alley because that's what the story is about, that particular place. Indoors, they walked on wooden floors that creaked, housed armies of mice that roamed around visibly in the evenings. Windows that were without wire netting to prevent a large influx of mosquitoes nightly. Noise from neighbors occupying the smaller section of the duplex. Some of it was raucous singing from a husband who lived or who liked operatic material. The conversation overheard were spoken in Spanish and in English. Charlestown, the capital of Nevis, comes alive as early as 5 a.m. Taxis, buses can be heard transporting passengers and merchants into the city to take the ferry to the capital of Sister Island, St. Kitts, Basseterre. Daily on the veranda they sat on chairs around a small oval-shaped table, watching throngs, THRONGS, throngs going in and out of the largest church on the island, a Methodist church. From the veranda, they waved to locals and exuberant tourists. At night, they looked towards into blue skies with unstable, pure white clouds, and marveled in silence at God's handiwork. April 1996 arrived, and they started to pack, making preparations to leave Featherbed Alley and return to Dominica en route. That short story is followed by a poem titled Doubts, D-O-U-B-T-S. An offer made, not accepted. The guessing game continues. Doubts alerted. And this next short factual story is entitled Nashville. Had a spell in that area and absorbed as much of the country music atmosphere that we were told that exists there, and this was one of the results of that. Nashville. They were up early next day, their last day in Nashville. Melissa made contact and confirmed that she was coming and they should wait for her outside the Holiday Inn's front entrance. She arrived later than the mutually agreed time and because they were booked for a cruise on the river, they could wait only an extra half an hour. Unfortunately, Melissa arrived shortly after they left. They had taken a taxi to the embarkation pier where the river boat departs from. On the cruise they were able to absorb areas of Nashville that exposed the industrial and the idyllic composition of the center of Nashville. Competing alongside were water cyclists whose maneuverings created waves that rocked the large river boat they were in. An Atlantic effect, so to speak. The composition of the tourists cruising included groups who spoke German. Their trip was one way, and they in the downtown area of Nashville. So their trip was one way, and they were in the downtown area of Nashville. A following poem is titled Love. Staring at absence doesn't make sense until love is seen in a dream sequence. And the conclusion to this will be music, which I'm searching for, and here it is. This music was recorded, by the way, in the UK, and that was some time ago. And that same composition was published officially in USA, so it has a lot of history.
You seem to want to choose between your two guys. None of us think you are crazy. Dividing your passion, forcing that decision. Will it work out alright? Alright. You tell me everything, they tell you secretly. Why must I be the one to know? Your 7 years of knowing doesn't seem to me. You and them will continue.